In the Unresolved Problem segment tonight, the political fallout from the Supreme Court ruling on the health care law. Republicans immediately vowed to repeal it if they take control in November. And one of the leaks of the Affordable Care Act, former presidential candidate Michele Bachmann introduced a bill to repeal the law last year. Congresswoman Bachmann joins us now from Washington, D.C. Congresswoman, first, I know you were in the chamber when this decision was read by the Chief Justice. Just take us back there for a moment.
Well, at first we were euphoric because it sounded like they were going to declare the individual mandate, the centerpiece of the bill, unconstitutional. They went through two sections. They said it was unconstitutional. Then they got to the third, the most implausible, which was the taxing session, and it was like a knife was stuck in us and twisted. We were absolutely floored, and it went downhill from there. We were shocked, and then, of course, we went out and talked to the public and to the media, and I think people were incredulous.
What has been the reaction coming into your office today, Congresswoman Bachmann, the calls, the emails?
People are angry. They're shocked. Now what they recognize is that there's one option left. It's a powerful option. It's the ballot box in November, and I think more than ever, Democrats and independents are going to be looking at a Mitt Romney for president because it's a very clear contrast. It's Barack Obama and you keep Obamacare, or it's Mitt Romney and you repeal it. This was my signature issue when I ran for president, but I will tell you that Mitt Romney has told me on more than one occasion, looking in my eyes, Michelle, I will repeal Obamacare. So we have to not only win the White House, we have to win the Senate and the House. And people shouldn't be fooled into thinking we have to have 60 Republican seats in the Senate. We don't. We need 50 plus 1. That's all we need. That's what the Democrats had with the reconciliation bill, and we can repeal Obamacare. Don't give up hope. We can get this done, but more important than ever, we have to give money and we have to volunteer for candidates who are going to repeal Obamacare.
Well, we said earlier the Romney campaign took in about $2 million after this decision was handed down. But at the same time, is it not the case that with the president trotting out all these sob story examples of people, well, they can't get coverage, they have a pre-existing condition, and they tug at people's heartstrings, kids, you know, that lose coverage, or kids being thrown off their parents' plan, don't Republicans need to have a clear and meaningful replacement option? Is it enough just to say, we're going to repeal it?
Oh, and we never have. We have great options, options that won't cost the taxpayers a dime. A very simple one is to let any American buy any health insurance policy they want anywhere in America with no minimum requirements. That costs zero, but it brings down the price of health care. Then we can let Americans buy it with their own tax-free money. You can't do that today. That brings down the price. Then we can have true medical malpractice reform. That doesn't cost the taxpayers. Three things that won't cost the taxpayers. That's just the beginning of reform. We have great ideas, Laura, but what we know with Obamacare is that millions of people will lose their health care coverage from their employer. They'll be thrown off of it. They won't have anything, and the black cloud that's over our economy will stay through this November, because right now, I'm telling you, employers are meeting in their boardrooms. They're saying, we can't afford this government insurance, and so they're going to no longer offer it to their employees, and then the employees have a decision to make, pay a fine to the government or buy this very expensive insurance. It's a disaster.
It's a tax, well, Congresswoman.
According to John Roberts,
by the way,
not according to Barack Obama or Nancy Pelosi or Harry Reid or the words of the actual Obamacare legislation, but it is to John Roberts because they are
doesn't matter.
The court now thinks it's Congress.
Now, Congresswoman, what do you say to Alberto Gonzales, who was in charge of the vetting of John Roberts? I mean, where do we go to get recourse for that vetting? Do you have anything to say to him tonight?
Well, I think we need to get some clear answers about, do you believe in the Constitution? Do you believe in federalism? Do you believe in the powers, which is the limiting power of government? All that was thrown out the window today. That's why people are shocked by this decision. But the bigger, more practical impact for the people watching the O'Reilly show tonight, and you, Laura, is that for millions of people, health insurance costs are going to skyrocket, and we're going to get a lot less for it. It's a very bad deal, and a lot of people are going to lose their employer-sponsored health care.
On the Eric Holder contempt vote, do you think that there's a risk of this becoming a distraction from the economy, from health care repeal and replace, if this continues to dominate the headlines, as worthy an inquiry as it is?
No, not at all, because this is a very important issue. No man is above the law, including the President of the United States, including Eric Holder. They're thumbing their nose at the rule of law. People won't stand for that. As Bill O'Reilly said earlier in the show, there's a Border Patrol agent who was killed. And this is a program where guns are put in the hands of terrorists in Mexico, clearly because the Department of Justice wanted to have gun control pass in Congress. That's all this was about. They got found out red-handed, and they don't want to answer the charge. It's outrageous. So we can chew gum and tie our shoes at the same time. We can handle more than one issue.
Oh, Congresswoman, thanks so much. And plenty more ahead as the factor moves along the